Hey, Dave Rother here, and in this video I'm going to be talking to you about how simplicity is your best friend when it comes to creating marketing messages which actually sell and actually get shared and actually get more engagement. This is one of the core principles of virality and also one of the core principles of direct response marketing, getting people to actually buy your stuff relatively immediately on the internet. So really powerful stuff and a really important concept to internalize when it comes to communicating your product, your services, your content to a big audience, especially an audience that doesn't know you as well. Because when people spend time online consuming content, they don't come to be, if you think about Facebook, people don't come to Facebook to have to work too hard cerebrally. They usually come as a kind of knee-jerk reaction. It's kind of like, it could almost be like a replacement to smoking. It's like a casual thing to do. It's relatively addictive as well. People just want to come and be entertained and learn about things and enjoy themselves, etc. So that doesn't happen with complex ideas, at least not out the bat. You need to hook people's attention in. When they're scrolling through their feed, if they see something which looks too complex, takes too much time to consume or to make sense of, they're just going to scroll straight past it. So simplicity is really important, especially at that kind of initial inception point where people come across your brand or your product or your services or your content for the first time. So if you look at this rather crooked set of concentric circles here, these would represent potentially everything that you're trying to get across in your marketing message and your products at the moment. And there's lots of really good stuff in there, right? As the business owner, you want to go and talk about all of these things because you've spent hours, days, years, months, whatever it is, creating this incredible service, product, etc., which people, every single element of has been thought out beautifully. But unfortunately, that doesn't help you when it comes to engaging people at the first point. You need to actually strip it back down through the various levels of simplicity to its very core concept, the most simple thing that you can get across to somebody, the most simple message. And I'm talking about being able to get something across in a sentence or less about why they need to carry on engaging and looking at your content. So to give you an example of where we did this recently, so I work with a client, which I can't give you too much details about for client confidentiality reasons, but I work with a client, has a fantastic service, really provides a lot of good in the world in terms of financial services. There's lots of different moving parts to what they do. They offer lots of different things to help people out. But in terms of like a marketing message, getting that across, it would be impossible to even in 10, 15, 20 minute video to get across everything that they do and how powerful it is and the various different ways that they can help them. So, really what we want to be doing is hooking people's attention in with a simple idea, a simple concept, and then taking them along this journey. Like once they understand the broad strokes of what we do as a business, then taking them along the journey. And it's the same with content as well. So in terms of a video, just to go on a slight tangent, we want to hook people in with a really simple idea, a really simple concept of what people are going to see in the video, and then take them along a journey to educate them about their product. You need to get that attention first. You need to hook them in with that initial thing before you can take them on that journey. So what was this thing for this particular company? Well, we went back and forth for quite a long time, and it's a complex system, right? It's a complex business, and these guys know it. They are the best in the industry, hands down. They know it better than anybody else, and therefore the temptation is to tell everybody every single element and be very generous with the information and to for people to be attracted by that and come in. But most people don't understand these things. Most people don't have time, and particularly with this thing, maybe don't even want to think about it. It's the sort of thing that maybe they want to ignore as well. But then we came across this one piece of information which one of them sent over to me one afternoon in Slack. We were kind of chatting back and forth, and they said, "Oh, by the way, I'm not sure if anyone told you this, Dave, but we generally save people 70% of what they're currently having to pay." 70%. So this is huge. This is like the simple idea. And so then this is something that we started to lead with. We generally save you 70% of what you're paying. Bang. That's the simple idea. That encompasses everything that they do. All of the different services they offer, when combined, the power is the actual poignant, most important thing to that customer who's looking at this for the first time is we generally save people 70% of what they're generally paying. It's like, right, okay, cool. Now I've got your attention. Now educate me about how you do this. Now educate me about why you're the best person to go with. But it's that simple idea. It's that really key, simple concept which directly illustrates to the person who's watching this content how useful these services are and how it's going to be relevant to them. That's the most powerful thing, and that's what we lead with. So think about this in your business. Like, what is the simplest it's the simplest concept that you can, how can you most simply summarize what exactly it is you do? So what is it about your business that is the most beneficial? What's the beneficial outcome that people get if we're talking from an entire business point of view? In terms of content, every single individual piece of content, what's the most simple idea? How can you put that across in the most simple way? We spoke in the last video about how we made our content really consumable. We showed people, we showed the box arriving in the post, they're being opened, they're being consumed. It's a very simple way of showing people things. It's very, it's not complicated whatsoever. We're not, another video that we could do there, let's talk about two different videos for a second that serve the same purpose but in a very different way. So say we've got this box again right here that we're talking about. So video A, I stand there and say, hey, I'm Dave, I started this company and we send you a cheese sandwich in the post. Bang, immediately lost people. Not interested, that's ridiculous. And then go into the detail about, so basically, this box arrives and it's got 2 slices of bread in it, and then it's got 2 different fillings and some cheese, and there's a card, a collectible card that you can collect, and then you put the product together, and then you put it in the toaster and you take it out and it tastes really good. Like, how many people have we lost already? It's like, what the hell is this guy talking about? Why don't I just go and make my own sandwich? That's content piece of A. Content piece of B, what we actually did. People see the thing arriving in the post. They're given concept, they're given the step-by-step process of it all along the way. So they see the thing arriving, they see it being opened. It's simple. It shows them directly how it actually works in their world, and it starts to get them across that line and to imagine themselves as a customer. So I want you to go away and think about, like, what is the most simple idea? How can you summarize your product most simply to your audience? And it should be, this answer should be a kind of soundbite or a sentence that guides everything that you do in marketing, because once you've got this poignant single point of reference, like if somebody asks you, you had the concept of an elevator pitch, somebody asks you in an elevator, what is it that you do? You need to be able to answer them in a sentence, right? Or a couple of sentences. The same is true about your product. You really need to be able to summarize in as few words as possible the real benefit, the simple benefit that you're going to provide for your customers. It's really difficult, again, something which maybe I didn't cover. For the human brain can't really hold too many different pieces of information in the brain at any one time. This is why it's really powerful, incidentally, if you're making a list of things that you need to do throughout the day, to make a list of no more than 6 things, because the way the human brain works is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, too many, and it just becomes a mush. And you probably experienced this in the past when you've just got more than 6, 8, 10 things to do in a day, and it just feels like you're completely overloaded. When you write down the first 6, get through them, great, fantastic. So that kind of illustrates how the human brain doesn't hold too many different concepts in the head at the same time. It just gets confused. So you need to, at least for each individual piece of content, pick one thing, one poignant point, one specific thing that you're going to get across in that video. With your product, you need to take one poignant thing about, one poignant sentence about what exactly your product does. So, for example, ours would be unique grilled cheese in the mail. That's like a very poignant, very simple idea that we need to get across. So how do you do that about your business? What is the single sentence that you can say to people based on the outcome, the benefit to them that will capture their attention, the simple idea about your business?